Okay, we're going to look at the riding mowers data set in JMP and see if we can duplicate some of the figures in chapter 12. First one we're going to go for is figure 12.3. So let's open up the data. Here it is. We're going to go to Analyze, Multivariate Methods, and then Discriminant. And things are a little bit different here because our response variable is actually going to be our X. So where it says X categories, that's telling us that's our response variable. And we're going to say income and lot size are the Y variables, or the covariates. Typically those things are backwards or reverse from this. So we're going to say OK. And that gives us this output, which is not figure 12.3. To get figure 12.3, we need to go over here and say score options and then save formulas. And when we do that, come back to the original data set, we can see that we have the square distance 0, square distance for the non-owners, for the owner, probability non-owner, probability owner, and predicted ownership. And we want to look at the square distance for the owner. So if we right click on that and say column information, there we have figure 12.3. So here's the discriminant function, and okay, so we've got that. To get the output in figure 12.4, we want the square distances to each group. So we're going to go back to the riding mowers discriminant analysis output, and we're going to go up to the red triangle, score options, and then show distances to each group. And if we scroll down, then we'll see the same thing as what we get in figure 12.4. And then we can also see figure 12.5 right here with the discriminant scores. So we're going to look at the accident data set now. Actually, before we do that, figure 12.7 shows up right here, the score summaries, where we see the misclassification rate and the confusion matrix. And we're actually going to get figure 12.8 by coming into the discriminant analysis output, go down here to specify priors, other, and we want probability set for owners to be 0.15, which means for non-owners it's going to be 0.85. So we're going to say OK. And that gives us figure 12.8. And you can see these probabilities here have changed. And now we're going to look at the accident data set. To get figure 12.10, we're going to open up the accidents 1000 DA data set. Go to Analyze, Multivariate Methods, Discriminant. Max severity is going to be our X. Validation is going to be our validation. And we're going to throw everything else in as covariates. And we're going to leave everything else as default. We'll say OK. And discriminant scores are what we're looking for. And you can see that these match up with what's in figure 12.10. To get figure 12.11, we're going to first of all minimize the discriminant scores. Then go up here and look at show probabilities to each group. And you'll see that's the first column here that matches up with what we have on the left, bottom left of figure 12.11. And then we're going to minimize that and put in the distances to each group. And that looks like it's minimized, but there we have the rest of figure 12.11. So to finally get figures 12.12 and 12.13, we're going to go back to the little red triangle, go to score options and save the formulas. And then we're going to come back over here, and for 12.12 we want the square distance for fatalities. So we're going to right click there, look at column info, and we see the formula. That's what's in figure 1212. For 1213, we're going to go over here to the probability of fatality, click on column info, and then change that to the formula, and we see the same thing as what we have in figure 1213. So that's what we've got for this video. You see how to make all the output and jump, and we will see you later. Send me an email if you have any questions.